Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is now still Thursday, end of the day, and we have one very, very important topic still to touch. In fact, it is the most important part of the competition, usually, of the big meets, and that is the fun flag. And I may introduce Savolo, the South African national four-way team. And I know you're not only great skydivers, you're also good fun flag hunters.
Yeah, here we are.
Amy, what do you know? Let's start at the end because people at the end of the table usually don't want to talk. So let's start.
What do I know about the fun
Amy
flag?
Kirkman, yes, she is. Yeah, what do you know about the fun flag?
So I've been to a few world meets before and I've seen it around, and I know that you have to capture it, put your name on it, and then hide it somewhere, which is not too easy to get to. So making it a little bit of a challenge.
And I know that you had, a very special story. It was hanging today at the top of the hangar. I have some photos. We'll show them. And I got your email, but I have not read the story. I don't know anything about it, but it looked pretty adventurous. Debbie, what happened?
Well, I hate to admit that the girls stayed at home. As much as we love adventure, but we did leave it up to the boys, and with strict instructions not to break themselves. And then but like you, we just got the footage. We just got to see the footage of how it happened. And oh yeah, they came back all dirty and full of.
What time did they come back?
About 11.
Two in the morning?
No, it didn't quite take that long. About 10-ish, almost 10.
Debbie's not telling you, she was the instigator. I was in the kitchen cooking dinner. I was slaving away over the stove. She came downstairs with a phone, very excited that the fun flag was somewhere where we could steal it. And she instructed us to go out and get it. And they took over the cooking duties while we went flag hunting.
We went for swimming duties.
Okay, so that's all. That's a pre-story. So now we're getting slowly to the real story, right? Bailey, you know the real story.
Yeah, well, the real story is we'd actually gotten lost the previous day, and we had seen the dam from a different side. So when we saw the photo of the fun flag on that dam, we were like, well, we have an in. We have to go for a late night swim. So we got the troops together, rounded up some swim shorts, off we went. Swam, stole it, and
That pond over there?
the pond was at our place. We're staying at the Grand Bear Lodge. Yeah, just floating on a raft in the middle of the dam, tied up with fishing line and so on. Yeah. So
How many teams are in that hotel?
there's about 6 teams, I think. I'm not sure of all which nations, but there's definitely a bunch that's there.
Do you know actually who had it before? Who put it there?
The British.
They thought it was untouchable.
They thought they had outsmarted everyone, but they didn't realize that the South Africans were there and we don't care what it's in.
And the Bailey Edmonds family has some history with our kind of interesting stories, and now, right? Edmonds Senior, we know you're there somewhere. Bailey. Okay, so we know it's gone now, and we have no idea actually where it is.
We have no idea. We placed it last night, expecting that when the hangar, we placed it in the rafters of the hangar, in a place that's difficult to get to, but not impossible. You just have to climb up and go and get it. It's pretty easy, but it looks difficult. And we thought that when the hangar opens, within an hour or two, someone will just take it and it'll be gone. By the time we get to the drop zone at 11 or so, it would be gone. So we were quite surprised when we arrived, and it was still hanging there.
All day long.
All day long.
Yeah, and in fact, when we arrived, they hadn't even spotted it yet. The teams were asking us where it is, because you're supposed to post it after you receive it, and they thought we were kind of holding on to it. And we were telling them it's nearby, you just have to find it. So only after we arrived, they discovered it was hanging there. And then there were a few efforts throughout the day with ladders and poles and things to get it down, which were by the Swiss team, I think, specifically,
I think it was, yeah.
which was unsuccessful. And then we went up around 9 at about 5 p.m. and it was still up. And when we landed, we walked into the hangar, it had disappeared. Yep.
Well, it's a good thing. I hope we'll see it again before it's all over. But now let's talk about.
Yeah, you might have it.
No, I have no idea.
No idea. What have you been doing all day? Why haven't you been watching? You could have had it on camera.
Yeah, it's pretty busy up there, but I will investigate.
Yeah.
I will investigate. So let's talk a little bit about it. Skydive, I mean, it's not so important actually here. It's a world championship. Who cares much about it? But how is Savolo doing?
From my side, great. I just filmed the guys, so it all looks good to me, nice and calm. Thomas has given them strict instructions not to watch the scoreboard, and I think that's working out well. There's a little bit of scoreboarding between the guys trying to put themselves in the place here and there, but but that's just speculation. So.
It is always impressive to me when teams can really manage not to look at the scoreboard. It cannot be very easy.
No, it's definitely been a challenge not to look at the scoreboard, but actually it's got easier as the days have gone by. First day it was like, oh, I want to watch the scoreboard, but now, yeah, it doesn't
I think we're
matter.
seeing the results of not looking at the scoreboard. We can see that the temperament of the team gathers, so the benefits of not scoreboarding are outweighing having a look, you know. So
Are you watching the jumps of other teams?
I
the
mean, very
Only the
little.
top
Just
three
the top
teams.
sort of,
Just the
yeah,
top.
top 5 maybe. No, yeah, mainly the
Yeah,
3 even, yeah.
Well, that is actually interesting because usually at most of the meets they have a scoreboard, a physical leaderboard where you can hardly see or watch the jumps without seeing the scores because it comes in. But they don't have it here, so it's good for Savolo actually.
Yeah, and we're spending most of the time in our tent. We're preparing the jumps in the hangar. The jumps come up sometimes, but we're just not paying attention. And of course, it's impossible not to know because the teams that are competing with us, they'll come into the tent and they'll, make some conversation about it. So sometimes we get some information about where we are. But I think Thomas, who's obviously coaching us, he just wants us not to be affected by if we're doing well, the pressure to maintain that, if we're behind, the pressure to do more, etc. He just wants us to do 10 best jumps that we can do, and if we're happy with them, wherever we end up, we end up.
Is anybody a World Meet rookie actually?
Debbie.
But I've been, so I can ask you too, because I have a little story going now. I'm collecting footage from rookies, people at the World Meet for the first time. So how is it for you?
Yeah, and a fantastic experience, and I'm thrilled to be with South Africa as my first meet. Yeah, absolutely lovely. Having a great time.
What's the difference to like British nationals or other meets we have been at? Is it just more tension, more excitement, more anxiety? What is it?
I wouldn't say it's very different at all. It's the atmosphere of. I mean, obviously, there's the setup is completely different. The tents and the sponsors tent, everything
That's
like
cool,
that.
isn't
And of course, you're surrounded by the best in your sport. So that's. I guess it could be intimidating, but then at the nationals as well, there's always been, the people that are like in the UK. So it's Satori there, and they're my heroes, So you are surrounded by people that you admire. So yeah, the competition feel and inside me is the same. I get the same feeling. I'm not any more nervous for this meet than I would be for like a nationals. It's still the same feeling, same management, trying to not let it take over and stuff. So, but the setup is amazing. It's big and it's great, and the drop zone's amazing.
How is it for the veterans? Let me guess. I would guess that Amy has probably more world meets than anybody else in the pocket. That's right. How many do you have?
This is number 7.
Number 7.
She has the same amount as Thomas.
Just not at the same level. Yes, my first one was in 2004, Croatia, with an all-girls team for South Africa. And then I did open, and then 2010 I did 8-way, and then 12 and 14 has now been open again.
She was on voodoo for many years.
That's voodoo, yeah.
I got all the spreadsheet with all the lineups and all that good information that comes from Dennis, I guess. I don't know who's doing that, but yeah. Wow, that's impressive. And how is it here for you after seeing all the other world meets?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. One of the better ones I've been to. Also, great setup, people. It's nice to do a Mondial again. I think this is only the second Mondial. I can't actually remember. So it's good to have all the competitors here, including accuracy, style. Brings us all together.
The problem with having such a veteran on the team, though, is incentivizing her to stay on each season, because she's getting tired, She looks young, but she's old at heart, it seems. So we have to use everything in our power to keep her coming back. So hopefully.
Well, you know, that 3 more for a 10-year anniversary would be.
There we go. There we go.
That could be a new record, actually. 10. I don't know if anybody has 10. Well, I'll dig in.
Something about having 30.
I think he was joking.
Or maybe 30 years of skydiving.
Definitely not 60 years
Maybe
of
world meets.
competing.
10 world meets, I mean, even 7 world meets is pretty extraordinary. So that's I have to dig into this, see where we are with it. Now to the downside of this whole thing, I guess, that we cannot drink all that Fun Flag beer tonight, right? You have to come back tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow first thing.
Yeah, we haven't told us yet, but we're hearing it's a 6:45 call, and we were planning on celebrating tonight with the events that are finished and just having fun.
6:45 call for 1 round.
That's what we hear because the weather's supposed to be terrible the whole day, so we're just going to sit here and wait until we can go. But that's speculation. They'll send out
We'll
the
wait for
bulletin
the
later.
official email. Yeah.
All right. Well, 1 more day for the Fun Flag, I guess, before the ceremony.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for the update and all the rest of the information. Good to have you here, guys. And
Thanks, appreciate
tomorrow, I know your scores, but I'm not going to say anything.
Thank you.
Thanks.